Man, I told Tim, I said, y'all come sit Matt if you want to. He's out. He good. You know, you come to this day, and as I told Matt, I said, this is one of those times in your life. You go through a lot of things. But this is one that you'll never do over. This is one time. You may graduate from other things, and you may move from other things, but you only graduate high school one time. So make the most of it. Enjoy this week. Enjoy this time. Because real life's coming, and it's coming in a hurry. Y'all all remember this little obnoxious, smart mouth, little brat boy that everybody wanted to kill? Y'all remember him? He ain't changed much. He just grew up and out. But as we come today, we come to not only to honor this great feat in the life of a young person, but we come today to give God the glory, first and foremost, for what he's done in this life. And not only what he's done, but we get to see what he's going to do. See, that's exciting. I've spent more time with Matthew this past year than I have my own kids. Point blank. He and I have been together pretty much every day. And we ain't killed each other. We've come close a time or two. We've wanted to a time or two, but we didn't. But we've taken that time and we've both learned together. We've learned a little bit about each other. We've learned a little bit about other things. And we've learned that if he needs me, he's got a call. If I need him, just call. Very few, listen to me when I say this, very few 18-year-old boys have the heart Matthew has. Very few. Because if I ever mention, well, we may need to go do this today instead of working at the farm, he said, I'll go wherever you want me to go, wherever you want me to do, just send me. Just let me go. And he'll go. Never complain, never gripe. May drink the goat water, but outside of that, he'll do it. You don't find that today, church. I'm telling you, you don't find that in a lot of young people today. And the reason that I'm hard on Matt, and I have been hard on him, is because when I look at Matt, as he sits there, 18 years old today, I see another little fluffy boy that was there about 34 years ago. He and I have a lot of the same tendencies. I see him doing and making choices and things about life that I was making 34 years ago. So I've been down the road that he's fixing to go down, so I try to help him go down that road. That's what we're supposed to do, church. Try to help him go down that road. Trust me, he's going to make his mistakes. He's going to make his own decisions. They ain't always going to be right, but he's going to make them. And you know, can I tell you something? You got to let him make them. There's one thing that you need to know, and not only does Matt need to know this today, you need to know this, church. You need to know this in wherever you are, whatever season of life you're in, whatever path you're on right now, you need to know this today. 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 7 simply says this, for we walk by faith, not by sight. You need to know that. Now, all y'all turning over there, I'll make you turn somewhere else in a minute, so you can turn there if you want to. But as you think about walking by faith and not by sight, as the next chapter unfolds, how many of you like to read? Like to read books? And as you read a book and it goes through chapters, you finish a chapter, and as you start that next one, you can't wait to see what's going to happen in that chapter, right? And sometimes things happen in that chapter that you didn't see coming, right? See, I'm going to tell you something. Life is just like reading a book. You go through chapters and you go through different seasons and you go through different times and you think you know exactly what's fixing to happen, and then all of a sudden something happens that you wasn't expecting. Something comes along that you weren't looking for. Something comes along that can change the course of everything. Something comes along that's going to test your faith. Something comes along. And guys, I'm telling you, it's going to happen. Not only is it going to happen in young lives, not only is it going to happen in these lives, it's going to happen in older lives too. Because everything in every life is just like a book. It's different chapters. as I thought about today, and I thought about a message that could not only help Matt as he goes through this new season. I'm going to step away from Ephesians again today. But I thought about what can help you, what can help our church, what can help me move into the next season, move into the next chapter. And if you've got your Bibles with you, turn with me to Numbers in the 13th chapter. We're going to pull a little bit this morning out of Numbers in the 13th and the 14th chapter. And I'm going to show you a couple things this morning. We're going to take a look at two young men this morning that, listen to me, two young men that walked by faith. They didn't walk by what they saw. They didn't give in to what they heard. They walked by faith in a holy God. And I'm telling you, church, if you're ever going to survive in this world that you're in right now, you got to walk by faith. I had the privilege last night while you're turning there, Lori and I had the privilege, we bought Lori a car here not too long ago, Pioneer Ford in Briefing. So we get an invitation to a dinner last night to come and a customer appreciation dinner. They do them once a quarter. Man, we went in there and with a bunch of other people, about 100 people, I guess. They served us steak and lobster and all this good stuff. And I was so glad that I was sitting by Lori because she don't eat steak and lobster. So everything on her plate got flipped over on mine. Yes, sir. Because I eat anything. That's another thing about Matt. He eats anything. Let me rephrase that. He eats anything and everything. Okay? But we were sitting there, and what I liked about this dealership and what I liked about what took place there. Let me urge you, if you're going to buy a car, go look there first. They gave God the glory for everything. The owner gave God the glory for everything. The salesman gave God the glory for everything. They keep God first in their business. And he said many, many times again, he said, I don't know the customers that are coming in here, but he does, and he sends them. And if we treat them like they're supposed to be treated, they'll come back. If you treat somebody like you're supposed to and like they want to be treated and like you want to be treated, you know what? They'll come back. But as we look at this passage today, you got two young men, Joshua and Caleb. We've heard about them, we've read about them, we've studied about them, but they're two young men that were chosen for a task that were placed, listen to this, the famous words of a Baptist church. They were placed on a committee. I read a great definition of a committee. Some says that there's a problem, some says there's not a problem, and nothing ever gets done. Sound like committees y'all been a part of before? Amen? But these two young men, and we're going to call it this today, they were placed on a committee of 12 to go in and search out a land that God, listen to me, to go and search a land that God had already prepared, that God had already led them to, that God had already told them, we're going to move you in here and we're going to show you something. Can I tell you something, Matthew? God already has your future planned. He has it planned. Trust his plan and you'll be all right, okay? Start trusting your own and you're in trouble. Trust his plan for your life. Because as you look in this passage, don't you look with me at chapter 13. And we're going to look toward the end of the chapter and look at verse 27. Now look at this. The spies have come back. They've given Israel their report, okay? The committee's come back. And here it goes, all right? And they told him and said, we came unto the Lord, unto the land whither thou sent us, and surely it floweth with milk and honey, and this is the fruit of it. Man, it's a great land. Nevertheless, the people be strong that dwell in the land. And the cities are walled and very great. And moreover, we saw the children of Anak there. The Amalekites dwell in the land of the south, and the Hittites and the Jebusites and the Amorites dwell in the mountains, and the Canaanites dwell by the sea and the coast of Jordan. Now, as you look at just those first few verses right there, it kind of sets the stage for this. They went into the land. They spied the land out. They saw what God had. Guys, listen to me. They went into this beautiful land that God's already prepared for them. And the grapes clustered so big that it took two men to carry them. Man, there were pomegranates. There were grapes. There were figs. Everything they needed to survive. The water that ran in the book of Esbol in there, the water was so pure and clean that they had plenty of water. God had laid a provision in front of them to beat all of it. All they had to do was go where God said go. All we have to do is go where God says go. But look at this. They got back and they said, boy, it was beautiful. It was everything God said it was. It was the land he led us to. But sight took over. There's some big old boys over there. Not only is they big, there's a bunch of them. Not only is there a bunch of them, we saw them, and they was mean. The cities have great walls. Everything is protected there. There's no way we can take this land. I'm going to tell you something, Matt. There's going to be many directions you're going to take in this life. And many, many times you're going to look and you're going to say, there's no way I can continue on this path. When you look in your own sight, you will not continue in that path. You trust in the Lord and he'll lead you down a path he wants you to go, okay? But they get there and they see all this and all of a sudden, 10 of them, you know that Baptist committee, 10 of them, we can't do this. You know why so many churches today become to fail? Because they begin to say, we can't do this. Well, can I tell you something? We can. We sure can. What a true statement that is. But I serve a God that can. I serve a God that can do anything that we need him to do. Anything that we want him to do if we'll just trust him. But as you see in this passage, you see that great thought come in. Now you look at that 30th verse. But look at what Caleb did right here. And Caleb stilled the people before Moses and said, let us go up at once and possess it, for we are well able to overcome it. Let's go get it, boys. Let's go, church. Let's go, Israel. We got it. It's right there. All we got to do is go get it. That's all we got to do. 12 men found that land. Man, it was lush, green, and fruitful. Then they saw a people. Then great fear came over 10 of them, and they said that we can't do it. But in that 30th chapter, you know what 30th verse, Caleb said this, let's move without hesitation. Move without hesitation. Let's go get it. He was ready. We can do it with God. Let's go get this thing. There's going to be many things, Matt. And listen to me. I've been down this road. There's going to be many things that God may lead you down a path on, and people's going to look at you and say, you can't do this, Matt. You say, my God can. My God can, and you continue in that path. If God says go get it, go get it. If God says move, move. Church, you hear what I'm saying? If God says move, be ready to move. If God says go, be ready to go. When you were asked to open your pocketbooks over the past several weeks, God said go, and what did you do? You opened those pocketbooks. And I'll bet you this, ain't nobody in this church went hungry. Ain't nobody in this church suffered because of it, have you? You gave, God gives it back, God takes care of his people. That's not why we give so that God will give back. We give so that we can bless a holy God and make his name known. But as Caleb come in here, he says, listen, guys, we can do this. We can do right here what God said do. All we have to do is go. We can overcome it. We can take it. Now, you got a younger of the rest of these guys sitting here telling them this, and man, that done cut him off. It ain't happening. No, sir. It's not going to happen. We're not moving. We're not going into this land. It's not going to happen. Let me tell you, I read some words this week that I love. And I believe this is what Caleb saw. Listen to this. John Gardner says this. We are continually faced with a series of great opportunities. But listen to this. Brilliantly disguised as insoluble problems. A faith that can't be tested, can't be trusted. Opportunities are there. They're brilliantly disguised as insoluble problems. We see them as something that cannot be fixed. We see it as something that cannot be solved. Notice I say we see it. God sees it as something that he can take care of. All we got to do is trust him and ask him. An insoluble problem to us ain't nothing for God, okay? And a faith that can't be tested can't be trusted. You say, well, preacher, I don't understand why God's going to test my faith. I don't understand why God tests our faith. I don't understand how that comes along, because if your faith was never tested, you would get so complacent that you would never do anything. You just assume everything was going to be all right all the time. Well, can I tell you something? Everything ain't going to be all right all the time. That's when our faith gets tested. That's when God's doing a work in lives. That's how we grow. Anybody in here ever had one of them faith problems come along with those things where your faith was just tested and you had to come to that place, I'm going to trust him or I'm not going to trust him? And when you trusted him, he just moved you right on through it. Now, you might have suffered a few bumps and bruises on the way, but he brought you right on through, didn't he? But most of the time when he brings you through, it's not in the way that you're looking for, it's in the way that he has planned. The way that he has planned. Opportunities are going to come. Matthew, you're going to have so many opportunities come your way as a young man because you're a smart young man. If you'll use this thing like you're supposed to use this thing, I know how this thing works with you. It don't always work most of the time. But if you'll use this thing the way it's supposed to, there's going to be great opportunities come your way, and you're going to find the answers to some solutions in this thing. Okay, you're going to find some solutions that can move you forward. Some solutions to some problems. If you'll use this. You got it up there. Church, can I tell you something? You've got it up there. And some of the things, and can I be honest with y'all, some of the things we're seeing right now, we're seeing as insoluble problems instead of seeing them as opportunities. Opportunities to move, opportunities to grow, opportunities to go the direction that God has and let him be in charge. You see that? We need some Calebs right now. We need some Caleb to say, let's go get it. Let's go do it. We can overcome it. God can do it. We love Hebrews 11:1, don't we? I know June does. I know June loves Hebrews 11:1. Let me read you Hebrews 11:6. But without faith, it is impossible to please him. For he that cometh to God must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. You see, we got to have faith, but not only do we have to have faith, we have to please God with our faith. Nothing else is going to please him. It's how we trust him, and how we believe in him, and how we believe in the path he has, and how we believe in the direction he has, and how we trust him to carry us where he wants us to go. It's how we do that. So what do we have to do? We have to have faith so that we can please him. Caleb knew what he was talking about right here. He knew how they ended up there. He knew why they were there, and he trusted a holy God. But you know, this third thing I want you to see this morning is sometimes our downfall. We're quick to give up, aren't we? Anybody quit to give up? You just quit just to give up. I'm done. Didn't get that job I was after. I'm done. Didn't get that pay raise on my job that I was after. I'm done. I give up. Life didn't go my way. Things didn't happen exactly like I wanted to. I give up. I'm done. And you know what we've done? Listen to me, church. We have taught a society. We have taught a generation to just give up and everybody else will take care of it. We've taught them that. So let me tell you something. Never give up. Never give up. Never give up on what God has for you. Never give up on your dreams. Never give up on the things that you want to do. If you've got the ability to do it, God will allow you to do it if it's in his will. But never give up. In the 14th chapter, look at this. After all the adversity, after the committee had spoken, look at verse 6. And Joshua the son of Nun and Caleb the son of Jephunneh, which were of them that searched the land, they rent their clothes, and listen to what they did. And they spake unto the company of the children of Israel, saying, the land which we passed through to search is an exceeding good land. If the Lord delight in us, then he will bring us into this land and give it to us, a land which floweth with milk and honey. Look at verse 9. Only rebel not ye against the Lord, neither fear ye the people of the land, for, look at this, for they are bread for us. They are bread for us. You see that? Their defense is departed from them, and the Lord is with us. Fear them not. Never give up. Even though the committee had spoken, even though the people had said we can't do this, 2 young men are sitting here saying, never give up. Caleb said, he said, man, they're just bread for us. You know what God's done? God's laid them out there on a platter, and all they are is bread for us. All we have to do is go take it. He's already laid them up for us. All we have to do is move. Go a direction. Go to a place. Go to where God is. Go to where God's situations are. Do you believe God's already made provision for you? In your life, do you believe God's made provision? He's already got things laid up for you. You believe that? I do. I believe it 100%. I believe everything in it. And God says this, I've already got you here. Why? Because before He ever formed you in His mother's womb, guess what? He had a plan and a purpose for you. Not only a plan and purpose for you, Matt, but a plan and purpose for everybody that's here. He's already got the plan laid out. It's up to us to follow that plan. As Joshua and Caleb stood here facing that other 10, facing that nation, that nation wanted to stone them. You go and read through that chapter. They wanted them dead. They're going to stand here and they're going to say that we can do this. Stone them. Stone them, stone them, stone them. We taught a society that they can't succeed. So why try? You can succeed, and you have to try. There has to be an effort. There has to be something put into it. What God has planned for you, it don't always come easy. It don't always come easy. It takes effort on your part. It takes effort on the ones around. Mom and Daddy, can I tell y'all something? Just because he's 18 years old, just because he's a legal adult, he can vote now, that don't mean he's grown. He's still got a lot of learning to do, okay? And you know what he needs? And you know what he needs now more than ever? He needs Mom and Daddy to continue to teach him. He needs his church family to continue to teach him. He needs to know that you can succeed in this life. How do you do that? By keeping on. By keeping going and never giving up. Never giving up. It's easy to give up. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do this. I don't want to try. I don't want to put effort in it. I don't want to do this anymore. I've heard that so many times. Listen to me. I've said that so many times. It ain't worth it. It's not worth the effort. It's not what we're putting into it. It is worth it. It is worth it. And you know what? God bless his effort. You know, we sit here today, and we look at Matt. I told him this morning sitting in the back, I said, Friday night, when you walk across that stage and they hand you that diploma, that's an accomplishment. That's an accomplishment. I'm going to pick at him a minute. Matt went to work for me almost a year ago. We've been working with me right at a year old farm. I told him, I said, I got a couple of stipulations for you. He said, what? I said, I will see your report card. He got this funny look on his face. And I said, because if you're going to work for me, you're going to keep your grades up. He looked at me and said, now what's that got to do with raising chickens? Everything. Because if you can't put the effort in keeping your grades up, you may not put the effort in everything else. So I said, I will see your report cards when they come out. Let's make sure those grades are staying up. And can I tell you what he did? He kept his grades up all year. He said, I finished with all B's. I said, you could have finished with all A's. He said, yeah, but I finished with all B's. And I couldn't argue with him too much because when I was his age, boy, I was just glad to get a C. But I finished with all B's. He accomplished. He finished. And we go on time, don't we? I I told him, I said, always be 15 minutes early. If you're not 15 minutes early, that means you're late. Oh, I said, yeah, it does. If you're not 15 minutes early, that means you're late. He said, oh. But if we get that mentality now and keep that mentality, life will be a whole lot easier. You don't have to worry about being late all the time. As Caleb sat here and as Joshua sat here, they cried out to the nation and said, we can do this. We can do this. All we have to do is trust God. All we got to do is trust God and say, let's move forward. All we have to, listen to me, all we have to do is go to what He's already prepared for us. That land that's flowing with milk and honey. That land with the big grapes. That land with the figs. That land with the pomegranates. That land that God has prepared. All we have to do is not give up, trust Him, and go. What did the angel tell Mary? All the way over to the first chapter of the book of Luke in the 37th verse. When she said, how in the world can I do this? How can I do this? How can I give birth to the Son of God? How can I give birth to the Savior? How can I do this? What did the angel say? For with God, nothing is impossible. Matthew, with God, nothing is impossible. Church, with God, nothing is impossible. What you see as an insoluble solution, God sees as opportunity. I'd rather look through His eyes. Matthew, you need to look through His eyes. But I don't know what rolls around in that little brain of yours. I ain't figured that out yet. Something rattles around in there, but I'm not sure what it is. Church, I'm looking at you, and I'm still not sure about what it is some of y'all's either. And can I tell you something? When I look in the mirror, I'm really not sure what's rattling around up in here most of the time. Something is, I believe it's a loose screw. Because it does rattle. But listen, church, whatever journey, whatever chapter that you're in your life, your faith is being tested. Your faith is going to be tested. Trust God to take care of it. Brand new chapter starting right here. Brand new chapter starting back here with my man Matt Harris. Brand new chapter starting over here with my man Eli. He graduates pre-K this year, moving into kindergarten. Brand new chapters over on this side. Brand new chapters are coming in each and every life here. And I'm telling you something, God already has the answer. All we have to do is ask. And if it's something in that chapter that we didn't see coming, God already knew it was there. We trust Him to lead us and move us in a direction. We trust Him. And you know what? He'll take care of it. He'll take care of it. Matt's starting to make some good decisions. He decided to go to school this fall. That's a good thing. Bad thing, I got to put up with him all summer. Nah, that's a good thing. But this morning, wherever your life is, whatever it is, put the effort in to see what God's plan is. Don't give up. Don't give up. And I'm going to put this in a term. Matt's probably going to be the only one to understand this. But I like to use anything I can to teach a life lesson. Sometimes it's what you're doing that you can teach a life lesson out of. So I'm going to finish this up this morning with something that probably Matthew's going to be the only one to understand this morning. Make a good cut, clean it, glue it, push it, twist it, move on to the next one. Because you've done all you can do. Right there, you can't do no more. But listen, don't spare the glue. Don't spare the glue. Because glue is what holds it together. See, it's those little life lessons right there that can help you understand some things sometimes. They can help you understand how to move forward and how to move on. See, some of y'all going, what in the world is he talking about? Matt knows. Matt knows. Church, this morning, I'm looking at you and I'm looking at him. And we're celebrating a great accomplishment. But also, too, I know that there's been many chapters unfold this week in many lives. And can I tell you something? Nothing's impossible with God. Nothing is impossible with God. Even though we may look at it and say it ain't looking too sporty right now. We walk by faith, not by sight. If we walk by sight, we'd never walk out the door. But by walking by faith, we're trusting him. And when we trust him, we become Joshua's. We become Caleb's. And we'll stand in the midst of adversity. We'll stand when we know we're right in the eyes of God, and we know we're doing what God has called us to do, and we know what we're doing, what God wants us to do. We trust him wholly, and we say, okay, God, I'm yours. Move me in a direction. Because y'all all know how this story plays out. You've heard it 1,000 times. Because of the disobedience of the children of Israel. All them other old boys on that committee, guess what? They never set foot in that promised land. All that children of Israel that distrusted God, that would not move, they never set foot in that promised land. Who made it into that land? These two old boys that refused to give up. These two boys that refused to give up on God. Church, we can't give up on God. He's doing a work right now. He's working in lives right here, right now. And I know, listen to me, I know we've had situations come along that we want to just give up on God. God's working his plan out right here before our eyes. And those solutions that we're looking for and those problems that have come along, they're sent to test our faith. And can I tell you something? The same God that was here before they came is the same God that's here right now. And he's the same God that will be here tomorrow. The same God. Let's don't give up. Let's don't give up. Let's just continue on. And we'll let the JCs out. You said, JCs? Y'all remember the JC organization? They used to be around, man, they did all the civic work and all the great work in the county. We're going to be the JCs, all right? The Joshua Caleb's. We can do that. Let's just be the JCs. Let's don't be afraid to stand. Let's don't be afraid. Whatever chapter you're in, don't be afraid. God's right here. He's everywhere. He's right here. And you know what he's looking for this morning? He is looking for the praise of his people. He's looking for the worship of his people. So this morning, as they come with a song of invitation, this
161.
He's right here. Looking for some Joshuas and some Caleb's this morning. You may need to come do some business with God this morning. Here it is, altar's open. Come right here where he is. Come and pray this morning. You ain't got to wait till they start singing as you stand with us. Let's let God work in lives this morning. Let's let God work in some lives this morning.